Record.
Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Hooked on Phonics. This episode, album reviews. These are two of the albums that we gave each other last week. We had time to digest these tasty goodies, and we're excited to go through it. Before we get too far, Tony, what's your drink of the week?
Good evening. My drink of the week is from Fathead Brewery. It is their Sunshine Daydream Session India Pale Ale. That
Nice.
is pretty hoppy. I like hoppy beers. I like India Pale Ales. I like ales just in general. I can drink just about anything when it comes to that stuff. Nothing overly sweet or fruity, but yeah, this is actually really good. My guitar player left me here for practice, and we're always leaving beers at each other's houses and shit. So,
Yeah, very cool.
what are you
Well,
drinking?
I have something very sweet. It is Apple Crown with Mountain Dew. This is a Tennessee treasure right down here. So good.
The flavored
So
crowns.
good.
Excuse me there. Of the flavored crowns, apple would probably be my favorite, although I don't really care for a lot of sweet whiskeys. We have like three bottles of it each, but that's okay. That's not me.
Tell her to get on it.
What are you jamming to this week, man? What have you been listening to this week?
So this week actually been I found some rehearsal footage from Kiss's 1996 reunion tour. Lots of really cool stuff. Just to see the
Say 1966 reunion tour?
No, 1996.
Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah,
66.
Like, good God. No, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. It was actually nice to see the band getting along and all that. And then earlier this week, me and Rhea, we went out to Nashville, hit up a couple record stores, picked up a 40th anniversary remastered at half speed of Creatures of the Night.
Dude, I saw that they released that. Is there anything bonus on it?
Not on this vinyl, but on the actual box set, there's total of 5 discs. 2 discs are nothing but demos and rarities, and the other 2 discs are off the soundboards.
I thought they were
Rio
getting
de
another
Janeiro.
dollar of your money.
I didn't buy that one. Shut up. And then we also got Hank Williams III, Straight to Hell.
Is that
on
new?
Vinyl. Yeah, well, no, this came out in 2009 or something like that.
Okay.
But this has the blood splattered red 2 LPs. So
Yeah.
Really excited to see that. What about you?
Honestly, I haven't been listening to much than what you had given me. Still listening to a lot of Church of Misery, checking out Yob, still kind of really digging on those guys. Actually just been listening to stuff that we've been working on, and then excuse me, stuff that what is it? Been looking up chords and stuff for a bunch of sleep stuff, so I've been kind of hearing some of that. But other than that, man, not really. It's been a bit of a slow week. Just still jamming a lot of Church of Misery, dude. Those dudes are just like I don't know, man. But that's what I find myself doing as of lately. Is like if I find a band that I like, I'll listen to an album and go, you know what? I'll go ahead and buy the album.
Yeah.
Then I'll start seeking out the rest of their albums. And I get a lot of them from Bandcamp. Bandcamp's a great place to go pick up stuff from, man. And I think it goes all directly to the artist and stuff too, which is really nice. I can't say for sure.
Way better than Spotify.
Yeah, don't hold me to that, but I believe it does. And I will tell you, man, like look for the near future. You may not know this, but it's going to come. And I'm going to go ahead and release the all unreleased material from Suspect Earth. And I'm going to
Nice.
release the Hard to Drag album, re-release it on Spotify. So everything that you hear kind of it isn't overly polished from stuff that was on the album, because the album was actually never mastered, but none of the other material was either. But I'm going to go ahead and put it out there, man. Um, I think it all needs to be heard.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember those were
too.
Yeah,
we got
those were
cool live
fun
concerts
recording
and stuff.
sessions.
Oh yeah,
That was
you
fun.
come out for some recording sessions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good time. So yeah, in case anyone who doesn't know who Suspect Earth is, this was a really great local band there in Columbus, Ohio. That Tony was the front man. Lots of great musicians with them. Great guys. That Hard to Drag album that he's talking about, freaking excellent. Excellent.
Thank you for the plug, man.
Yeah.
I'll talk about music and band all the time, man, because it's just currently what's active with me. Aside from
Absolutely.
cooking, haven't done any cooking this week because I've been injured. So eating
Yeah.
a lot of freaking fast food. Don't get me
Get you
wrong.
some Bojangles up there.
Dude, hey, guess what, man? It's funny you
Mm.
mentioned that. So Bojangles is actually putting a location less than a mile from the house.
Good deal. Hey,
Guess what's going in right beside it?
Yo,
Sheets.
you must be sheeting me.
No, we got a bunch of sheets now, man. There's one up on Broad right by the mall, right in front of the mall. Yeah, they're all over the freaking place now. I even applied.
Ain't no Bucky's.
Oh, dude, I applied for him as a nighttime manager or something, just something to do.
Yeah.
They didn't take me for some reason. I interviewed and everything. And like, probably the beard.
Yeah, probably.
Fuck.
Probably.
Fuck.
It's off-putting to me, but here we are. So before we go forward, we go backwards. Tony, do we got any comments from our first episode?
Yeah, man, we had quite a few comments. So I'd like to share those with the rest of the people.
Yeah.
Tim, actually, from my new band, was the first comment there. He said first concert was 1993 Danger Brothers live at Put in Bay album. Just a group of guys who love one another like family and love playing music together and still tour today. Rest in peace, Mike Thompson, he said. I went ahead and replied to that. And then Fallon Farms responded, first concert Metallica for my 16th birthday. Killer concert. We're going to speak a little bit about Metallica here in a minute.
Yes, sir.
And then
that was a great show, by the way.
Niece chimed in and said, hey, give 2014 Forest Hills Drive a try, Grunkle. So she's a big Taylor Swift fan, and that's a big thing around this household right now. So at some point in time, she'd like us to review a Taylor Swift Forest Hills Drive, I think it is. And then, and I'm okay with that. It is what it is. We'll
sure,
work
buddy.
with everybody. And then my wife actually responded in there, which was pretty cool. She said first concerts was the Village People at Cooper Stadium and Reba McEntire at Polaris. So anybody that remembers Polaris, man, that's some good times. I would have liked to see Reba there.
So a little side note on that, I've actually got 2 pieces of the stage of Polaris Amphitheater.
Yeah, you told me when they tore it all down, you went up there and grabbed stuff.
Yep. Legally, of course.
You ever want to share one of those pieces, that'd be cool.
We'll talk after the show.
I'll look forward to my stocking. But yeah, man, getting a little bit of activity out there. We've had some watches and stuff. So once again, we'd like to tell you guys just to be totally interactive with us. We'd like to hear from you, and feel free to comment or like, subscribe. Just hit that button down there and hit that thumbs up and leave us a comment. And we'll try to get to each and every one of you and listen to what you have to say about music, man, because you're listening to us. So thank you. Back to that.
Big news.
Big news.
Big news snuck up on us yesterday.
Out of nowhere, Metallica drops a new song. So
Lux Eterna.
Lux Eterna. What a name. So I take it you've heard it.
Did a few times.
I've listened to it quite a few times myself. I've got to tell you, where I thought, I didn't like some of the way they strayed before, but I
No.
thought Death
St. Anger
Magnetic
much?
was starting to step into the right direction, and this kind of only confirms what I feel. So I want to hear your opinion on it real quick. What you thought?
So I definitely took down a few notes as I was going through the song. And first note I said solid, reminiscent of earlier stuff. Hints of the Justice for All period.
Ooh, I don't know that I picked
Hints.
up on that.
Hints.
I don't know that I
And
picked up on
then
that.
a little bit of Kill 'Em All in it. Just hints. Just
That's
little
what I got.
tastes.
That's what I got with
Yeah.
some Killing Moon.
Lars is actually playing good, not overfilling and just being erratic. Kurt lays down some solid solos, and I am a big fan of this.
So I'm going
I'm
to sum it up.
excited for this album coming out in April.
I'm going to sum it up in a few words. To me, it sounds like a mature and polished Kill 'Em All. Like it was a track
Yeah,
pulled right off of Kill 'Em All that has matured and it's been polished well. Because the production
yeah.
on Kill 'Em All wasn't the greatest. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the greatest. You know what I'm saying? They
Well,
were still
no,
pretty raw then, and they still had that raw sound. But this I'm very impressed with. I can't wait to hear
I
the
have
album.
nothing to complain about this, and
Right.
I haven't been able to say that about a Metallica release.
It's one song. It's one song, man. But if this is how they're coming out the fence swinging, I can't wait to hear the rest of the album. And I'm just going to leave
No,
it at that.
completely agree. Completely agree.
I'm just going to
Totally
leave it at
excited.
that. It might be the first
Yep.
time I buy a Metallica album in decades.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see as more comes out. Not a big fan of the cover art for the album, yellow and black, but we'll see. It's just kind of bad. But
I haven't seen it
the
yet.
song itself, fantastic.
Now, have you seen the tour? Information on the tour?
I just seen that. I believe was it Motley Crue was opening up a few gigs for them.
So they've got Pantera. They've got two different groups.
Yeah, that's right.
On two different nights. So what they're doing is it looks like they're playing each stop twice in a weekend, and it's not going to be the same set as what it sounds like, and they won't have the same openers. Okay,
good
on each night. So there's some value for your money there if you want to get in there. But the real question in regards to that is how much are tickets going to cost? How hard is it going to be to get a hold of tickets? Especially when some of them shows when they find out that Pantera tribute's coming through or Pantera reunion, whatever you want to call it. I can't call it a reunion. The Avid brothers aren't there. It's not a reunion. So, but respectful to Zach and
Rex and Phil.
Zach, Rex, Phil, and who they got on drums. Joey Benedante or something like that. The guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, dude from Anthrax. Yeah.
No disrespect to those musicians.
Charlie Benatti. Yep.
Charlie Benatti. Yeah. They're great musicians, and it's not that I don't think that they can't play the material, but at the end of the day, dude, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think keep it. Don't keep going out as Pantera. Like, do this run, do a tour, couple shows. I'm good with that.
Dude, they could have named themselves the Great Southern Dreamcoat, and that would have been perfect. The same way Sabbath went out with Dio the second time around.
Yeah, with Heaven and Hell.
Third time around with Heaven and Hell.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
thanks, Sharon.
And it makes perfect sense that they would go out under that name because they're all Southern boys, except maybe Charlie.
Yeah, he's from like Jersey or something.
Oh yeah, I want to say he's from the New York, Jersey area.
Yeah.
But moving forward, I don't want to dwell too much on that. Yeah, but the question is how much tickets? Because if the ticket price is right and they're touring off this album, I'm going to hear some fresh songs off this album that I like, and hear some old stuff. I may consider it. I definitely lean towards the date with the Pantera thing going on.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's just where I'm at with it.
I agree.
So that's it on news. Let's go back to these album reviews that we took last week. So you had Dog Fashion Disco Committed to a Bright Future, and I had
Yep.
Willie and the Family Live. I want
That's
to hear
right.
your take.
Okay. So Dog Fashion Disco Committed to a Bright Future was released June 28th, 2019. Pleasantly surprised on this. There were some great jazz elements that I was really, really impressed with. Fantastic musicians. As I was going through each track, the singer, his delivery reminded me a lot of Frank Zappa.
You see that?
Like some of Zappa's stuff where it was kind of, carnival-y and kind of hokey and hey, a little jazz singer, and then bam, here comes the metal. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Some of the top hits for me, Love Song for a Witch, great intro, just that you can open up a concert with that song for sure. Let's see, Worm in the Dog's Heart, beautiful song. Pogo the Clown is a little weird, but I like the music.
Very fun.
Yeah,
very fun.
Let's see,
for a song
my
about
top
Gacy,
track.
a song about Gacy, fun.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. And then one of my favorites on there was actually the remake of Grease. I loved.
So you got to listen to the re-release, because I don't think Grease was on the original release.
Okay. Yeah, it had to have been. So, yeah, it was great. I mean, I found myself listening to that album probably 4 or 5 times, and it wasn't because I was studying for the show. It was like I really enjoyed this album, and I didn't know anything about these guys.
Good. My favorite tracks off the album, my top 3 off that album is probably going to be Rapist Eyes. Just draw me your bloodbath, oh sweet rapist eyes. Dude, that's just the way that starts, and just the lyrical content in there is insane. And then the Magical Band of Fools, a lot of fun.
Great closer on that album.
And then well, of course, Pogo, but the Acid Memoirs. Oh God, I fucking love that song. Lyrical content, it's in that lyrical content in that alone. If you've ever done hallucinogens, there's the song that explains it all.
Yeah.
I met a man, I shook his hand, he was covered in flies and afterbirth. Where do you come up with this stuff?
Yeah. I think Deja Vu.
A hell of a vocalist. Deja Vu is good. And the whole album's great.
Yeah. There was a couple ones that I wasn't a big fan of, but it's mainly because of the lyrical content, and it's like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But musically, fantastic album. I think this is a great album where someone who wants to dip their toe in metal, that they're like, okay, I think it's a good starter album for some metal, because it's a solid album, and it's great musicianship.
Oh, yeah.
It was produced fantastic.
Now those guys,
the Sonics on it was fantastic.
So you and I met a lot of people over the years, music-wise.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I've met a lot, same as you. These guys were some of the coolest cats I've ever hung out with. Like I said in the previous episode, I've closed down some bars with them. And Todd Smith knew I was running through a cancer scare at one time, and we traded email addresses, and he reached out. And he's very, very, very humble, very, very solid.
Very cool.
Dude. My daughter absolutely loves him. Fell in love with him the day she met him, because he was such a great guy.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about your album.
Sure.
And I'm
Now,
going
to
to
be
tell you
fair,
the next time that
full
you
dis-
lay an epic on me, let alone a live epic of the hillbilly proportions, I'm going to beat you. No, no, no.
complete by accident.
In all honesty, what would I give the album for the genre? It's an absolute 10 out of 10. There's no way around it. You have every element that's important to country music in and on this album. Give me 1 second here. The reason why I say this is you travel this album, okay? You have, of course, your classic Willie hits, country outlaw, right? And just good old country music. Then you have the gospel side of things because
Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace, yeah, it was amazing, dude. And they're just Dolly Parton's on the album, like you said. Johnny Paycheck,
Yep.
yeah, Johnny Paycheck gets some,
Pride of
really,
Ohio, Greenville.
calls him in, and I'm gonna tell you, man, like for me, it's not exactly my thing, but it's not something I can't listen to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's very few things that I just can't listen to. Um, but why I say it's a walk through country music is you've got gospel, you've got bluegrass, you've got country outlaw, you've got classic country, you've got just your road music, just your over the road, your hauling ass in an 18-wheeler music. So yeah, if you want to know anything and everything about country music in one album, in my personal opinion, from things that I've heard, that's a hell of a place to start. An absolute hell of a place to start.
Willie's guitar work on that is fantastic.
Well, his rendition of "Crazy" was really good. I found that to be really good. Of course, all the classics were always good.
Well,
now,
he wrote that song.
Hold, because I can't remember correctly if this was on the one. I think I was a little disappointed that there was a track on there I wanted to hear live, but it wasn't on there. And I want to say it was you. You Were Always on My Mind, and I don't think it's on that album.
Correct. You Were Always on My Mind, I believe, came out in '82, and that album was released in like '78 or '79.
Yeah, but hey, listen, absolutely great walking time. Would I jump out and listen to the album again? In my headspace and where I'm at today, no.
Yeah.
But there's something I kind of want to bring up to you that I didn't plan on during the show, but I want to make it quick. And I think we should make it a topic for a show at some point in time. It's the idea of, have you ever listened to a band and went, man, that's just not for me? And then several years down the road, you find yourself like, man, what was I thinking back then? These guys are great. This is great stuff.
Yeah.
I've
got a few of those for sure. That's a great topic.
Dude, I think
topic.
That's something I'd love to bring up and kind of go over, because I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like as I grew up, some of these bands I've been listening to lately, they've been around for years. And it's like, where were you at? What were you listening to? Because I listen to everything. But I don't know.
I love it. No, so yeah, I think those are two really good. And again, I think with Dog Fashion Disco, Committed to a Bright Future, definitely a solid 10 on that. And I think anyone should really go out and get that album if you're remotely interested in metal, and just, it's a fun album. It's a fun album, even though it's a little dark.
When we say 10, that means, we couldn't really find anything really wrong with the album. The musically, it was all there. It hit its genre spot, and for I'm not handing out 10s just to hand out 10.
No, for sure.
I take in every element of that album that you gave me, considering it was live, considering who all was on it, considering who all was involved, considering the track listing and stuff. And my only complaint, if my only complaint is always on my mind wasn't on the album, well, it wasn't released by then, so it's not really a complaint. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be very frank with you. That is everything representative of what country music is. You know,
Yep.
it's the heart and soul of it's got every piece of every component, the brain, the heart, the soul of country music all in that album. And
Yep.
I think I think if you really want to understand the roots of country music, you need to go there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Well, what kind of time we got?
We only got about 5 minutes, so if that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you my album for next week. You give me your album for next week.
All right.
My album for next week for you.
Got to plan ahead, son.
No.
I say.
No, because I don't know if you'll lay another epic on me. So you go ahead and lay your album first.
I want you to review Ozzy's new album, Patient Number 9.
All right. And for you, I'm going to give you, being that I'm such a big Doom head and you know where I am Doom wise, I am going to give you a classic Doom album. So you're going to need to write this down. Trust me, you need to write this down.
You're going to have to text it to me.
I'll text it to you, but it's going to be Candlemass, Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus.
Yeah, you're going to have to text that to me. I'm in East Tennessee. I don't know German.
Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus. It's a phenomenal album. It is a root album for Doom. Everybody leans towards Black Sabbath, but there's other bands that produce those sounds and do very well doing so too. Definitely check this album out.
Where are they
from? I want to say they're from overseas in the British area or something like that.
Gotcha.
But I could be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus. And that's your project for next week. I'm not going to beat you to death with I was going to give you Wasp Double Live Assassins, dude. You was going to be in there for a minute.
I'm going to need more Crown. If that was the case, I need more Crown.
So back to the original topic. We are in we got about a minute left.
Yeah.
Who was your last concert? What was the last album you bought?
Last concert I went to that I remember was The Devil Makes Three here in Knoxville. Fantastic band. And the what was the other part? What was the last album I bought?
Last album you bought.
Hank Williams the third. Hank the Third. It was. That was the last one I got. Yeah. I just got it on Sunday, and it was in line. What about you?
Last album I bought, and I don't own many albums because I'm a record player.
Nice.
The Sleep Dope Smoker Collector's Edition from Third Man. I had to get my fucking hands on that, but I haven't even heard it yet, which sucks. But other than that,
yeah.
My last concert was Crowbar.
Yeah, Crowbar. Wow.
My last CD purchase, digital purchase album was a Yob album, probably one of the first three. I know I bought the first three all at the same time. So we have less than a minute to go. We want to hear what your last album and CD purchase was, or your last concert was. Get at us, throw it in the comments. If you find anything entertaining about the show, want to talk about the Metallica thing, leave a drop. We appreciate you guys. And
thanks, guys.